Okay, good afternoon. How's everyone doing today? I hope you are doing super and very well. Hey Jimmy, how you doing? Good day. Hey Ayakame, good morning. Good to see you again. Hey Ray, how you doing? Good morning. Video and sound okay? We are also live on TradingView. We're live on X, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, YouTube. If you're on the session, if you are watching right now, do drop a message and say hi. Especially if you are new to the session, do say hi. Let me know where you're joining us from. And for all the regulars, I'm smiling. A big welcome back. Thank you for joining me on this session again. Good morning, Nev. How are you doing? Hey, Linley. Good to see you. Hey, Bjorn. Good morning. Hey, Stefan. Good to see you too. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, this is lagging a little bit. Okay, what was I gonna say? Finkel got it to before me, posting the link on the Discord channel. So again, if you guys are not already on the Discord channel, do check out the link there for the Discord channel. Do make sure you join if you haven't already. And I've also put in the link for the testimonial forms. So if you can help me out massively, I would appreciate it a lot if you can click on the form for the testimonials, fill in something, whether you like it or hate it. If you hate it, put in there, say you hate it. If you love it, put in there, tell me what's good, why you like it, how I can make it better for you guys as well. Okay? Hey Pips Apprentice, how you doing? And the last thing I would ask for you to do to help me with is to click that like and subscribe button as we go through the session, if you haven't already. If you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to put it into the chat and let me know. I'm here to help you guys with your trading. Today is the daily market analysis, so let's get to the quick disclaimer. Any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. So please do your own due diligence, as the contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product, as your objectives, financial situation and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. With that, we have that done. Anyone got into any interesting trades, any good or terrible trades? Put it into the chat and let me know. Right, and also a quick update and info here is that if you are watching on TradingView, good to have you with us. But just a quick reminder is, I don't think they've announced it yet, but I got a message on this that TradingView will be halting, stopping or ceasing the offering of a live stream. Like, from the 7th of April onwards, I won't be able to stream live on TradingView. So if you do want to continue getting a live stream, please jump onto my YouTube channel here, and you still can get the live stream on a day, well, ideally on a daily basis. Okay, I do travel, I do get busy, so sometimes I don't get onto the live stream. But most of the time I am here, right guys? Good morning, Jew Mariners, how are you doing? Okay, so what has happened since the last time we spoke? Click back, you can see that last night, 8:30 p.m., we did have the core durable goods orders month to month. It was a minus 0.4, expected to go to a 0.4, went up to a 0.5, while durable goods did a lot better than, well, a bit better than expected. It was a minus 6.2%, expected to get to a 1.2, climbed up to a 1.4% on the durable goods. With that news at 8:30, what we actually saw on the dollar, I put in a vertical line there, That's a 9 o'clock, so at 8:30. We did see the dollar push down a little bit and then continue to push back up, right? From that point started the relatively good news on the durable goods and core durable goods orders. Saw the dollar somewhat end its retrace to the downside and push back and start to push back up. Again, please ignore that tail at 8 a.m. I don't know why it's there. And again, today's 8 a.m. there was a tail. So we saw that continue to push back up on the dollar index following the news from the durable goods and the core durable goods. Good morning, Erwin. How are you doing? Hey, Diana. Good to see you again. Then with that, right, you see that the dollar pushed up and then just sat right across and consolidated just at around that 104.30 level because we had consumer confidence come in a little bit lower than previous and lower than expected at 104.7. Consumer confidence is relatively important because it does measure it does measure the consumer spending, right? And consumer spending, it is a leading indicator. Consumer spending leads to overall GDP for the US. So if we do see consumer confidence from 106.7 revised down to 104.8 and staying at about that 104.7 level, it's still it's not a terrible number, but it does put a little bit of a dampener onto the dollar index, onto the confidence of the dollar, and that's why we see it sitting right across. Okay? I'm glad you're here too, Diana. Hey, Stanford, how are you doing? Good morning. Hey, Mark, good morning. Good to see you. So that's what we had overnight, early this morning at 8:30 a.m. GMT plus 8. Aussie CPI, Aussie inflation growth number was 3.4, expected 3.5, came out at a 3.4, so did not rise slightly. It sat flat at 3.4. Not terrible news, but not fantastic news either, because it is 3.4. It is still above its target range of 2 to 3%, RBA's target range of 2 to 3%. But it's not increasing, right? With it not increasing, it does give it would give the RBA a little bit more confidence in terms of its current rate path, which would lead to what we see here this morning, right? At 8, you see the Aussie dollar. It's set there at about the 65, just below 6540. On release of the news, it pushed down. I was actually thinking, as it was pushing down, right? As it was pushing down, I was thinking, great, I'm getting excited, somewhat excited. Could it push lower? And then at 9, I was watching it closely. I had my level there, but I also had another line at about that point there, thinking if it breaks this level, which is this black line, then I'm going to get even more excited, because if it does break that level, I have this trade to the downside, 6.5, below 6.5, 20 pip stop loss, 55 pip take profit. But as we expect, or as the markets do play out, it came down to this bottom or this low, pretty much this whole area like that. Oops. It came down to this whole area here and it bounced back up again. Okay, bounced back up again. So no trade there on the Aussie to the downside. I leave that there because I do think that that's still something I'll watch out for. Any questions on the Aussie CPI number for now? Or any questions on anything that's happened since the last time we spoke? Let me know. Did I get into any trades? Did not get into any trades. I haven't gone into any trades since, what is it today? Today is Wednesday, so I didn't get into any trades yesterday or Monday or Tuesday. Still waiting for some direction or for clearer directions to form. So I haven't got into anything on the trades for this last 2 days. So let me know how you guys went. Good morning, Goju. How are you doing? Then one more thing to look out for again is that we have the BOJ again coming out, chatting, trying to jawbone it, but not working. Right? Japan Finance Minister again would not rule out any steps in response to this orderly FX moves. I read that yesterday. It's just a rehash of that statement. But yet what we're seeing the yen do is continue its climb towards that resistance level. I do like it near that resistance because I'm looking at something like that. Right, I can take that away. You have that resistance there. Just trying to see whether it's going to push to the downside. Right, whether it's going to push to the downside, possibly from a I'll leave that there. From a intervention or talk of an intervention from the BOJ. So that's still something to watch out for, something to wait for. Lin Lee is already selling the US yen. Yes, it is a possible early move, right? We have seen it reject 151 almost 151.90, push down again. That was on the 20th of March, again on the 22nd of March. Now we're at 27th of March, and I'm guessing that Lin Lee probably got in about 151.70 stop loss, maybe 30 pips. Take profit could go down to 80 pips to the downside. Yes, that might be valid. You might be in money now. I think that a slightly safer bet might be if it breaks that trend line. You'd have a stop loss of about take profit about 60 pips. Your stop loss could be, I think 40, 50 would be too generous. Maybe about 30 would be reasonable. Okay, so yes, you could have gone early. You could have, or be a little bit more patient to look for it to break that trend line first. With that, nothing much else for today at 6:30 p.m. I don't remember noticing this yesterday or through the week. Not sure that it just came up, but maybe I just missed it. But we do have at 6:30 p.m. the UK with the FPC meeting minutes and the FPC statement. What is the FPC? The FPC is the wait, where is it? I had it in my mind just then as I was just thinking about it. Oh, there we go. Financial Policy Committee, right? So it usually does have a little bit of impact, but this time round, I'm not expecting, because when you have an FPC conference or answering to when the chairman of the BOE is answering to the FPC, then we get more volatility. But if it's just meeting minutes and statement, I don't think it's going to move too much. I got it right. Lin Lee sold at 151.70. That was exactly what I was thinking that you did. So 151. Did I say that? Yeah, 151.70. I think you would have a 30 pip stop and about a 80 pip take profit to the downside. Let me know if I'm right on that. I'm happy with that guess. Okay. Then with that, later tonight or early tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. GMT plus 8, we do have FOMC member Waller speaking. Member Waller from the US FOMC speaking at the Economic Club of New York. Like I was telling you, way too early for me at 6 a.m. I probably just went to bed not very long ago, but it's way too early. Might bring about some volatility when Chair Powell Chair Yellen, where Chair Bernanke spoke or used to speak, or when they do speak at the Economic Club of New York, they do bring about a lot of volatility. I'm not sure whether member Waller is going to bring about a similar volatility, but might be something to be careful of. And then into tomorrow, I'll tell you more about the GDP for the CAD and the US. What I'm anticipating is quite likely to be very similar situations today compared to the last 2 days. Very similar to the last 2 days. Haven't entered much because it hasn't broken out. So I'm probably still going to be waiting for a more significant move on the major currencies right across the board. You see that it did come down to 38.2. Okay, now let me think. So we did that on the dollar. So dollar, we were saying wait for retrace to complete. Rebound needs to break 104.25 to retest 104.50. It came close. It came to 104.42 before consolidating. So let's take that away. Now at this point, not seeing any major news events. Let me just think. So BOJ Tamura says likely to maintain accommodative stance for time being. Nothing says all about the yen. Big yen option bet risk crushing traders as intervention looms. Talk about intervention is back again. So we just saw a pop-up on Bloomberg, but it's nothing for us. Okay, so what I think here on the dollar is that it might be a little bit toppish at this point. I'm possibly considering that we might see the dollar push back down slightly. Right, so that's that, putting that downside pressure. Zoom out a little bit, have a look at this. We have this point pushing right up. 50%, I like that there. Okay. 60 is good there. All right. So what I'm actually thinking here on the dollar is quite possibly, today being the 27th of March, it's going to consolidate at this point. What it needs to do is below 104.60, we're going to be expecting it to come back down and to retest this range. Okay, so dollar index will need to stay below 104.60 to maintain, I would not say bearish, but to maintain within the range. Could retest 104 round number, which would also be that 38.2 level, which is also that 38.2 retracement level. 104 round number, which would be that 38.2 retracement level. Okay, there we go. So what I'm thinking here is that the dollar index could sit there. It could push up a little bit more, right, briefly, but it looks like it could do that and then come back down to this point here, right? Or it could just sit there and then after that push back down to this point there. So I'm looking at some weakness coming back into play on the dollar weakness, onto the dollar index, dollar weakness. So we're looking at this, some weakness. coming back in. All right. So that's the plan. That's the current view and bias of the dollar index. Then with that, looking at the Kiwi dollar, take those away because take that away because that didn't trigger, and that came down, but that only came down early this morning because of the Aussie, so that shouldn't have triggered your trade. Take that away. We do have a bit of a double bottom there now forming on the Kiwi. And if you look at this, 50% is right there. Let me check that trend line. I like that trend line to the downside. 38.2 was where it came up to and paused. 61.8 I would say is broken, so I would take that away. I don't need that and that. Okay. So what I'm looking at here on the Kiwi dollar, expecting possibly some dollar weakness to come back into play, is that maybe what you could be looking out for would be above 601. I think to be safer. No. Actually, you know, I would like to say that above 6012 or 13. It's a bit close. It's a bit close, but what I'm looking at is something like that, where it could go up to that 50% level or even higher. Where is 61.8? Right, come right up to that trend line there. And then your stop loss would be, I don't want it too far, I don't want it down there. I think that with that double bottom, the only thing I don't like is this point here. Is that point there. Let me think. I don't think that would make sense. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. That's the 23.6. That's why I think that we could see it come back up to test this area. I would say that something you can look at would be 15. So 6013, stop loss 15 pips, take profit 45 to the upside towards that 61.8 level. Yeah, I will be happy with that. Let's say it again. So it would be anticipating that dollar weakness, some dollar weakness. We could be looking to buy at 0.6013, stop loss 0.15, take profit 45 to the upside. 6013, 1545 towards that trend line, and then we might see that come back down again. I'll keep to that. I'll stay with that one. Then onto the Aussie. Right, we are already looking at the Kiwi possibly bouncing back up with a double bottom. I think with what we just saw on the CPI for the Aussie, we might be looking at it retracing, but I'm still looking for this move, right? From here down, 38.2 is at this level here. What you could be, but I don't want to be over expecting that dollar weakness. You could be looking at that move like that. Oops. Like that move like that, but I don't think it'd be worth trying that. We already have that for the Kiwi. What I would be looking for would be retracement to complete on the Aussie, like that, right? Especially if it stays, especially if it rejects that level. So it could bounce around here, but I'm looking for it to break down from 0.65. 20 pip stop loss, 55 pip take profit. If you are looking at trading the range, I hate trading the range, but if you're looking at trading the range, you could also be looking for a like that, a test and reject. Then you would have a tight stop 15 maybe, a take profit back down to 40 pips to the downside. You could even do that at 20, so you get 1:2 to the downside. That might be actually a good first move. So let's look at that as a first move, first idea. 6, 5, 5, 0, 20 to 40, and then if it breaks that support area, 6, 5, 0, 0, 20 to 55. Okay, I like that. So 6, 5, 5, 0, 20 to 40. Let's put the first one in. Test and reject 38.2. Then we're looking to sell at 0.65, 50, 20 to 40. Stop loss 20, take profit 40 to the downside. Okay, cool. Well, I'm happy with that. So I'm looking for this to push up, test and reject, just keeping within that range. And then if it breaks down from that support, looking for the further downside. All right, and that head and shoulder that we identified is even more skewed. In fact, you might even have another one here. Bit of a shoulder. So you might have another one here where you go a bit of shoulder, head, shoulder, and then turn back down again. So that might still be available with the neckline being right there. Okay, so I'm still looking at the downside on the Aussie. The next one I want to look at is below 6.5, 20 to 55. Or sell 0.65, stop loss 20, take profit 55. There we go. US yen, I would maintain that. I think Linley is going to be really happy. It was pushing down, sitting right there at this point. I'm looking at this and oops, wait, what am I doing? There. 23 will be when it breaks that trend line. So like I was telling you, I know you would be thinking of whether it's going to push back up. I think that it looks a little bit toppish. Maybe what we can be looking at is something like that first. Right? Break that 23.6, break that trend line. You'll be looking at 151.50. No, slightly below. 151.45. Stop loss 20. Take profit could be down to 60 pips to the downside. I would be happy with that. Okay, so it's going to sit there. Yes, you could have got in early. I think I would look for it to break that trend line, break that 23.6, 151.45, stop loss 20, take profit 60 to the downside. US yen, possible intervention. 151. No, I don't think this move wouldn't be driven by intervention. 151. 45, stop loss 20, take profit 60. could be a good setup, could be a very good setup there. There we go. All right, I like that. Okay, then on to the pound dollar. Hasn't done too much, right? It's dropped, it's broken that trend line, so we can take that trend line away, but it hasn't done what I expected by pushing up and rejecting. And in fact, it's sitting right between that support and resistance level. Everything else has been, you see, overnight, it seems like a lot of the pairs have pushed up to that 38.2 level and retraced. Now, expecting, it's still fluctuating around this point, but expecting some downside move on the dollar index, I would think that we could see this push up past that resistance, and I'll still be looking for that same thing, but I think that I'll be a little bit more conservative in this approach now. Would be just to look for it to come up towards that resistance and look for reaction at that point. No big news. There's no big news in the markets at this point, so there's no real expectation, or should not have the anticipation that we might see it test and reject and any big major moves, because there's no big reason why it should. Right, so I'm going to be looking for a possible reaction at that 1.27 level. Okay, so for the pound, I'll be looking for it to climb to 1.27, and then I'll look for reaction at resistance level. Okay. Then on to the euro. Did not push up. We had that as a counter trend idea. Did not push up. In fact, you look at the headliner there, where was it? Euro fell on strong dollar dovish ECB outlook, right? Euro fell on strong dollar with a dovish ECB outlook. So that's painting that downside potential on the euro. Painting that downside potential on the euro. If you look at this, it's sitting at that 61.8 level, looking like it's going to push lower. Take those away. It's close to that support, right? It's close to that support. So what I would be looking for at this point might be a counter again, because we were anticipating dollar weakness scenarios. But what if the dollar does strengthen? What if it breaks right through this 104.60 level and climb towards almost 105? Then we'll be looking at the euro dropping down, breaking below that support level, heading towards the next support. So what I would be looking for, nothing to do right now, but only if it breaks below 107.90, 1.0790. Stop loss would be a good 20 pips. Take profit could be a good 65 to the downside. I think that I'll give it a little bit more space. 1.0785. Stop loss 25. Take profit 60 to the downside. Hey Angel Case, how are you doing? Good morning. So this one, it needs to, euro needs to break support. Then I'll be looking to sell at 1.07.85. Stop loss 25. I forgot. 25. Take profit 60. Where am I? Okay. Take profit 60 to the downside. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. It's sitting there right now. looking for it to push down, break that support, then we could be looking for further downside towards the next support level. As much as I anticipate the dollar weakness scenario, if we do see the dollar strength, I like this setup. On the dollar weakness scenario, I like this setup for the US yen. Okay, Aussie not so much. So this US yen will rank a little bit higher if we do see that dollar weaken. And then if we don't see the dollar weaken, then I would rank the euro dollar a little bit higher for the downside move. And now onto the Swiss franc, pushed up towards that swing level from the 13th of November with the next resistance here from the 1st of November at 9105. It's on the way to the upside. We don't even need this anymore. That trend line is there, but it doesn't help us, so we can take that away. Now looking at this, it does look like it's pushing up, and that's not moving too much. The dollar index isn't moving too much. So what I'm anticipating, or what I'm seeing here with this move to the upside, if you got into that trade, you'll be about 27 pips in. Looking at this move to the upside, it looks like it's the weakness on the Swiss franc that is pushing this higher. Okay, and if I'm looking at this, then a revision of this idea or this setup would be that it needs to break above 9060.45 to 25. I'll keep it 25. Right? So looking for the continuation to the upside. No reason why it could push back down. It looks like it's that weakness on the Swiss franc that is dragging it higher. So we could see break above that previous swing level. Give it a little bit more space. 9060.25 to 45 to the upside. Swiss franc, is a continuation to the upside. 0.9065. Did I do that right? 60, 25 to 45. I'm messing all my numbers up. 60. Stop loss 25. Take profit 45. Okay. There we go. And actually, if I take that back, you'll see that we said there was a hesitation at 9050, and that's actually right where it is now. It's come up, it's hesitated at that point, it's pausing slightly at that point. So that hesitation is playing out as we expected. Take all that away. 9060, stop loss 25, take profit 45. We can take all that out. Okay. Then onto the USCAD. This was last night or yesterday afternoon after our session. It popped lower. It popped lower also because at that point we saw the dollar push down slightly, so it got dragged down by the dollar towards that 38.2. Again, seems like everything retraced back down to that 38.2 level, bounced off this point and pushed up. All right, pushed right up. I would, again, I think I said this yesterday, I can't remember. I think I said this yesterday, but we saw it reject this area, we saw it reject this point. If you look at it on H4 time frame, again, many times at this resistance. of 1.3617 or 1.3620. So right now, what I'm actually looking for is a little bit more upside. A little bit more upside on the CAD, and then for it to push back down, which would look like a double top rejection of that resistance, 1.3610, tight stop loss, no more than 20 pips, take profit all the way down, 55 to the downside towards that 38.2. You could even have it to 65, and then you might close out a little bit early. Okay, so that's what I'll be looking for, a possible USCAD. Looks like a formation, a possible formation of double top, looking to sell at 1.3610, 20 to 65. 1.3610, stop loss 20, take profit 65. Okay, I'm happy with that. You guys are awfully quiet. Any questions so far? I hope it makes sense. I hope it's working out well for you guys, the session. Any questions, do let me know. And again, quick reminder, if you can help me out, do remember to click that like and subscribe button. And then on to the gold. Hasn't done too much, right? This was yesterday. So we said yesterday that looking to retest, look for retest of 2182. What it did, this was us at this point. It pushed up to 2182 and right past that, it retested 2182, went all the way up to that 61.8 level, that 2200 level, came right back down, and then it's sitting along this trend line to the upside. Also another reason why I think that with that dollar weakness potential, we could see it break above 2182 to again touch that 2200 level. Okay, so quite straightforward there on gold, is that we're looking for it to break through 2182 to reach 2200. Hey, Ray is asking which currency is going maybe the weakest today. I think that based on what we've been looking at, I think that the euro might be the weak one for today, especially if it breaks below that 1.08 support area down towards that 1.0785. We might see that big downside move. All right, I've done this in a flash. You guys haven't asked too much. I hope it answers a lot of your questions. So CHF will be the weakest. Well, actually, that's a good point, Jimmy. I did highlight that, I was saying that the euro might be the weakest, but yes, the CHF has been pushing higher. So there is, it could be a neck to neck between the CHF and the euro. If euro is weaker, why is gold up? I don't see a massive correlation between. There is a correlation between gold and the euro, but we might be seeing that euro weakness first. It might be a first and second kind of thing. All right, and then by what time should we be looking? I don't know, Ray. I can't tell you what time to look at the charts. That would make me, that would be impossible to guess. I would love to tell you what time to look at the charts, which ones to sell it down, but it would be almost impossible to guess that. All right, so Diana's asking at Swiss yen. We have missed out on that for a while. It is pushing down, currently at 167.48. and pushing lower. I probably do need new lines for these. We don't need any of that. And that. And that either. We see this pushing down. Take those away. That's a good resistance there. Take that away for now. We have this point here and the next one down here. There we go. Now if we're looking at this pushing lower because of that Swiss franc weakness, I do see it coming down, possibly coming down towards this support area at 166.80. But because it's right in the middle there, I think that you might look for a little bit more patience and then try and sell it down. If it breaks that support, 30 pip stop, maybe even a 35 pip stop loss, a good 90 pip take profit to the downside, right? Especially because of that Swiss weakness and possibly the yen sitting there might be pushing down. That could drag the Swiss yen down further. Michael Dollar says set and forget and be monitoring. Well, if you're set and forget, you won't be monitoring, so just set and forget. Why is the Swiss getting weaker? It didn't hold rates, they cut rates. They had a surprise rate cut. I think that yes, that could be one of the reasons. In fact, not one of the reasons. I think that could be one of the main reasons. I don't see any other reason why it should be leading that big or that weakness currently. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with the Swiss franc there. Okay, so with that, please remember, if you haven't already, the link for the Discord channel is there. Tomorrow is Thursday. Thursday will be our last live stream for the week, not the last live stream, for the week, because Friday is going to be Good Friday, going to be a busy day. So in the meantime, please trade well, trade safe. I'm actually quite keen on this. Please trade well, trade safe. If you haven't already, do make sure you join the trading community. I'll see you all on Discord. If not, then I'll see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place. Take care now. Bye-bye.